We'll welcome and call to order our meeting of the 27th of June. Do we do a
Motion to call.
motion to open that?
Oh, sure, you don't need.
Okay, we're gonna
Call to order.
Okay, great. So the next one is approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
So
I move to approve.
I second that. Although I don't know, so we're one short of a quorum. I don't know. if
I know.
We can really do any.
There's nothing we can do.
We can't vote on anything. We can still talk
Talk
about
about
things,
things.
but we just can't approve things. So maybe we'll wait till the next meeting to
To
approve.
approve the last minute,
So.
okay.
Perfect.
Trying to simplify for you.
Time for public input.
And none?
None? Okay, so that's great. Time for any agenda items that have been submitted online. Dave, do we have anything that's been submitted online?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Usually she will take those and, so I don't think we've got anything.
She didn't say anything to me about them. Follow up on action items from previous meeting. So report about Madison Pride. So,
Me, Amanda and Jane attended the inaugural Madison Pride celebration at the Linear. I think it was really good from what, the guesstimates were that approximately 400 plus people came through there that day. We had good amount of interest, conversations with a lot of people. I do want to give a shout out to Sarah at the commissioner's office. She had printed off some cards that Jane had made and a printout for us to have on our table, both for Pride and Juneteenth. And she already had them cut for me, and like, she just goes above and beyond. So
She is a
shout out to Sarah.
Give the cat's meow.
She is.
Really.
So no, we had a
good turnout.
good turnout and good interest. The way they had it set up was a good flow of different booths, people giving information and handing out swag of various sorts. And there seemed to be some interest in people applying to join the HHRC. So I don't know if we got any additional applications, but people did have some interest, so that was good. I felt like out of all of the public things that I've been to in the last year to try and get the word out about this was the first time that I really felt like people were really kind of interested and wanted to know more and that sort of thing. So, do you have anything else to add about that?
That was a great time. Great weather, great time.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job. And then I attended, the Juneteenth celebration this past weekend. It was also nice, but we didn't run into as great of weather. It ended early due to rain. The setup, and they have asked for constructive like feedback, which I will give. I think just kind of how we were set up, it wasn't really conducive to conversing with people. So I ended up leaving my booth setup and just going with the cards and like introducing myself to people, letting them know a little bit about the HHRC. Of course, you know, they think you're selling them something.
Sure.
Hi, I'm but then once I told them and gave them the stuff, they were like, oh, okay, thank you. So I made a couple, well, really just one connection I felt like there, but again, there also wasn't as large of a turnout. I feel like, the Broadway reunion is right now a larger turnout than what the Juneteenth, celebration was. But they did some wonderful things. My daughter ran in the horrid, hot, hilly 5K again. It should be. I mean, and I should not even complain because all I do is wait at the finish line for her to get there. But it's a beast. So we attended the event, and then I also went to the showing of the documentary at the library for Juneteenth. And that was, really good and educational. Even to this Texas native who grew up with it as a state holiday and learning about the holiday all throughout school, I still found it, very informative. So good job to Sioux Livers and all of the volunteers and community for that.
And part of the reason we attended these events, personally, we attended them, but also with, the HHRC. I just said that. Okay, good. Is we had some listening groups in the fall and they were poorly attended, so we decided to go where we knew people would be.
Sure.
Right.
And probably with those, since relatively young events, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
And, same thing with us, it's gonna take time for people to know we're here and
Mm-hmm.
get a feel for what we're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
and so.
Yep.
You gotta start somewhere, so.
Right. Yeah.
The report about the Ivy Tech dinner. So Jane went to the Ivy Tech dinner and discussion last week, a week and a half ago now, and took some notes. There was one thing in the list of notes that, notes updated our website. Okay. Let's see, sorry about that. It is important to know that the LGBTQ plus people are generally open to questions and would rather people ask questions rather than make assumptions about their gender identity or sexual orientation. So these are things for us to be aware of. A big challenge for this group is that they typically come out every day, sometimes multiple times a day. The stress of that is that they have no idea if the person they are talking to will support them or react negatively. One of the most challenging responses to coming out is when people just don't believe you and think that you are going through a phase or that you can take the day off from being LGBTQ plus. Using someone's preferred name is important and a matter of respect. Our community could do better at promoting resources for coming out, especially for youth. We could include pride flags. We could include PFLAG and our HHRC resources. They are important to our parents and youth. So that's something we can update our website with. Our community schools don't offer enough support for LGBTQ plus community plus students. Not every facet of our community is open to the LGBTQ plus community. This includes inclusive resources on website, wedding venues, and general visibility needs to be broader. Our community is more supportive of white queer men than other facets of the community. Some panelists mentioned how LGBTQ plus youth have been kicked out of stores and restaurants for no reason other than their appearance. Senate Bill 202 has been concerning for educators as they feel restrained in being able to keep youth safe when they have to report student nicknames to parents. This can out students who don't feel safe being out at home. I don't know what Senate Bill 202 is.
It's where, if a child asks, you call, I think, like, other than their given name or that doesn't coincide with their gender, that teachers are to report that to parents. And if it's already an unsafe home environment due to their gender identity or sexuality, that can cause greater issues. So teachers have a fear.
I'd heard of it in like an instance of even like, well, my name's Matthew, but I go by Matt, and that's not my legal name, so that has to be reported to families kind of thing.
So even if it's.
Like, I know someone had like an abbreviated name, and one of my colleagues got a call, just, hey, just so you know, your son goes by the first syllable of his name.
Right, where my parents named me, like, they intended to always call me Cammy, but gave me a gender neutral first name of Cameron. So that people wouldn't know when I applied for jobs in housing and to avoid discrimination.
I love your parents.
Yeah, they were very forward thinking and intentional. Also, I just wanted to know, because you did say something about the website there. We did get some photos of us at the events that, Jane had thought that maybe we could have Sarah add to the website, just showing HHRC members out in the community.
Yep. So progress on safe passages training at the jail. Any update on that, Dave?
No, I reached out to Ben, but it was a little late, so
Okay.
so if I hear something, I'll send it out to folks and update folks.
Any other action items?
I did send a link today, although I think I need a new email address for you because it came back.
I got one of yours.
You did on the Ohio Valley?
Yeah. I got
Okay, so
that. Okay.
it bounced back instead. So anyway, so we looked at the Indiana Housing Development Authority, which is another initial in there somewhere, but the representative group in our county is Ohio Valley. So we can have Ohio Valley opportunities, so we can invite them to come and have a discussion on housing or the other things that they do.
Okay.
But, so if you're okay, then I'll see if I can get them in one of our future meetings and
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Sounds great.
I think all of the other things that I have as action items from last week were related to following up with folks about the healthy community initiatives. And so,
About that, or the pad?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you wanna find out from them, cause I'll, and what dates work for you, but some dates out there, and let's see if we can put something together and just have a special meeting on that, get everyone that's,
Okay.
we'll,
Yeah.
so I'll reach out to my group, those guys, and get some dates and times and see if we can find one that works for folks.
Okay.
And, kind of go.
Are you thinking more evening hours, or, because you work across the river, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have some Fridays that I have off, so I could work a Friday in if that works, or
Okay,
other than that, it'd have to be an evening, but.
okay,
I will send you the Fridays that I have off,
okay,
so you know those, and you can kind of put those out there if that works, and if not, you know.
okay.
evenings probably.
Next is commission members offer any new business. In her absence, Jane asked that there be discussion on what the process is for new members now that we have an application, and to outline that process for sharing.
Generally, what is a practice to onboard new members?
Well, you wanna serve?
We normally elect,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, thank you. I mean, I think, you know, we've got that in that application that probably asks some of the questions that we're interested in hearing responses to. I don't know that we're gonna, I mean, it would be a great problem to have, but I don't know that we're gonna get so many that we have to really, limit it because of number. But, you know, there are other things that might come up, so I think once we get some applications in.
so, right, and we have one applicant from what I understand, so I
Okay.
think we should all just put that on the agenda to discuss next time. I don't have
Does Jane
Jane is the one
has
who
the,
has it.
has the application, so she
Yeah.
just share it with us and then,
So once she shares it with us, and I think we can do an approval, and then maybe put as an agenda item in the future to discuss if at some point we have
yeah,
multiple applicants, what
What
we,
we do.
I mean, we have room.
but
for-
right now we have 3 openings,
Right,
so, I mean, as long as it's not somebody, a joke applicant who comes on spewing
well, I think,
hateful things, or,
you know,
you
I
know,
think we have we would have the option if we want them to come to a meeting and talk to us about things. I think that would be well within what we could do. I mean, I think, you know, it just,
yeah, and maybe we should ask Jane to invite that person to
Yeah.
the next meeting.
I think the person is.
I thought, is it
Yeah.
Lindsay's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. that's what I thought.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. I vote yes.
Great.
Yeah, she'll be wonderful. She was our photographer at one of the events.
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect. Upcoming events that we should try to attend and bring back info for our group and find more resources for our website.
She put one on there that's already passed. It was on,
June 21st.
right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Health alert from Indiana Department of Health regarding
I can speak on that,
Medetomidine.
right, so. This was on the HCI substance abuse, like monthly newsletter that goes out. But I get, alerts and invited once a month to updates, with the State Department of Health. So this is just a new drug that, they are seeing. It is another one that is for, veterinary medicine. And so a lot of times, like when we're having problems with these drugs being mixed in with other drugs, the ones that are meant for veterinary use are not regulated or watched by the FDA. So it's kind of harder to, there's no laws for, making them illegal, but they're often mixed in with other things and then causing overdoses. But so they were, with this drug, I think they're still mostly seeing it mixed in with opiates. So the recommendation is still to administer Narcan if suspected ingestion of this drug, because it likely is also on board with an opiate. So, yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I said I didn't have any new action items, but I am interested, and I don't know if this is something that we would be able to, coordinate with people. I'm looking at I volunteer with, various things in the community, one of which is, some of the music festivals. And a lot of the music festivals that I've been attending just socially with my daughter, they have booths, distributing free Narcan. I get free doses of Narcan, and any of you can as well, from Overdose Lifeline, a nonprofit here in Indiana. You can go online and request it. They'll send you intranasal Narcan with instructions for use, or for first responders or medical people, we can also get IM Narcan free of charge. And a very quick turnaround. So that's what I had gone through to get the grant for the county when I worked as a contractor for the county in the jail, and got somewhere in the realm of like 200 free doses for the sheriff's department. But they also distribute to individuals. So anyways, a local, like different concerts we've been going to, they've had booths. And so like one that we were at recently, and I keep Narcan in my car and just whatever, just in case, come upon somebody who appears to have overdose. We were there and we hadn't stopped by that booth. And then I saw two guys that were doing the opiate nod, and my daughter also now being a nurse, I said, come on, let's go over to that booth. So let's each get a dose, because these guys might need them here shortly. And I know that people can get it from our health department for free. You just watch like a video and then you can get it. But I'm wondering at some of these large community events, about getting even somebody from Overdose Lifeline, or something to come have a booth and talk to people or whatever. Because obviously it's, it would be great if everyone who was addicted had it on them, but more importantly for their family members, loved ones, friends, or even community, because I'm definitely an advocate myself for harm reduction, but it also, nobody's ever going to get sober unless they're alive. And so that's one stance that I take when it comes to Narcan. I know there's proponents against, why isn't insulin free, but you can get this for free. Well, it's two different things. But the other thing is that it's a lot cheaper to administer Narcan to somebody than it is to have them on a ventilator for 3 days in an ICU because they were deprived of oxygen. And so so just something, I don't know if that's something that.
I think that's a great idea.
Good.
I know that at the college, they've done a big push to like students can get Narcan out of our food pantry, and then also we have it at our health center. And then that they do leaders for, or training for student leaders in student senate and to our different Greek organizations on how to administer it and what to look for.
Okay, I know Overdose Lifeline has one of the boxes, I believe at Life Springs on the hilltop. And you can just, like a fire extinguisher, you know, you can get it out if you need it. Monroe County Jail has an actual vending machine in their lobby, like people leaving a free vending machine can get it as they're exiting or family members coming in or anybody in the community. But we don't have, I don't know of any boxes downtown, and I feel like there's a real
Push for that downtown.
need for that. I mean, where I live and I see. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, even talking to Overdose Lifeline about getting more of those boxes throughout the county at different locations.
Maybe we're talking to some of the organizers, because I would have to believe they have some plan about emergency response for a number of different things, and so asking if that's part of it, because it may be there, we just don't know. I mean, there's, you know, so I know we're trying to put together, the county are trying to put together some events that have been out in the county, trying to increase the medical supplies and some assistance part of that. So I think that would be something that could be put in that as well. I mean, normally it's the bike races that end up having problems, but there could be other things there as well. And as we put together this plan to make sure that's kind of at least discussed.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, I mean, because this, you know, just statistically, we know this is the number one cause of accidental death in the US. It, you know, superseded car accidents many years ago, opiate overdoses. So in order to do what we can for the health of our community, I think that's one maybe important thing, access to that.
So I can, the other board I'm on the board of tourism, so I can talk to groups that are running the events downtown, or the groups that are kind of overseeing that, visit Madison, and see what kind of plans they have as far as that goes. Right now, the EMA director is putting together an event plan or requirement for the plan for these events out in the county. So we can look to add something like that, or at least start that discussion.
Yeah.
And so.
No action items for the next meeting.
All right, I have, and correct me if I'm wording this incorrectly, but I have, Dave, as a action item for Dave, the Healthy Communities Initiative follow-up will occur on a future date, and Dave will coordinate the selection of the future date. I have that Dave can talk to groups coordinating events downtown to learn about their plans for the availability of Narcan. And then I also have started to write out, James Stormer can distribute the application for approval before the next meeting.
Future meeting dates, confirm our new July meeting date due to the conflict on the 25th.
I know if we move it up a week, I'll be arriving from being abroad, and so I won't likely be able to make it up. And if we push it back a week to August 1, we could do that.
August 1 is better for me as well. My daughter leaves to go abroad on the 18th. I'm not sure what time, but. Okay. Well, what if we, I mean, is it unheard of, especially I feel like a lot of times.
Like take a summer break.
Take a summer break. That we just reconvene in August.
Well, I think we're gonna try to shoot for a date, probably in July or August for the fitness pad thing, so if we wanna get that date and add a few other things, we could probably do it that way.
Yeah,
So we'll kind of leave it as tentative, but we'll try to fix that date sometime in these next 6 weeks or so.
so then the next of
August 29th,
August 29th.
and then September 26th. And then, yeah, but before so at the 29th, because I know the Hispanic Heritage Festival comes up. So we should have a few more events that are coming up
In
in
September,
September to talk about.
right, and I know I won't be in town for that this year.
All right, so are we all comfortable just waiting to schedule and then our official meeting is the 29th?
Right, and then we know we're gonna have one
For
sometime.
July for that.
Like I said, if we have things to talk about, we can do it then, or we can just make it for the fitness pad, but we
Okay,
have that option to do both.
perfect.
So,
And I already know that the Hanover Community Garden has talked about it and they don't have a space there because it's too small.
oh, okay,
So my sister-in-law is like on the board.
okay, good deal. That's good to know that thing.
Yep.
I think we still talk to folks at the college, folks in town
Yeah.
of Hanover, but also these other groups we talked about, just to see.
Okay.
All right. Adjournment.
Guess we'll approve that next time.
Meeting is open forever.
I moved to end the meeting.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Adjourn.